Good morning, friends. We are getting ready to go on a little bit of a trip and have a farm sitter here on the farm for us to watch all the animals. So come along with us as we get things ready to make sure that everything is set and ready to go for our little trip. Okay, so a huge part of farm life is being permanently tied to the farm all the time. These animals need to be fed every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes even more than that. We have a bottle baby who has to get fed 4 times a day right now. Hi, Trudy. Hey, pretty girl. You have to go be a sheep today, okay? Go out with the goats and go be a sheep. And so we are very, very tied here to the farm. And so there aren't a lot of vacations really, just when you're a farmer. It doesn't happen. But we have decided in our family, at least, about every 5 years, we tend to get away from things just because it's our anniversary. And so this is one of those big anniversaries for us. This year marks my husband and I our 15th wedding anniversary. And so we can't believe it's already here. It's amazing, but we are going to get away for a little bit to go celebrate. Okay, so since we're going away, we're gonna have a farm sitter here on the farm. And what that means is I want everything to go perfectly while we're gone. I want there to be no mishaps, nobody runs out of anything, no accidents, no mistakes. I want everything perfect while we're gone because it's so hard when you're sitting someone else's farm and you're trying to take care of their animals to know what to do in case of like an emergency. So we want to make sure there are no emergencies while we're gone. And so since the goal is to make sure everything goes super smoothly while we're gone for the farm sitter, we are doing a whole lot of prep work today to make sure that we have every little detail perfect. All right, so first things first, our farm totally centers around our goats. And so we're gonna make sure all their stuff is ready to go first. Main thing for them is making sure they have a ton of food. So we filled that hay feeder to the top. Now we have tons and tons of great grass and weeds and browse for them to eat. And so they probably won't even touch that hay. But I don't want to take any chances. Remember, no emergencies, no mistakes, no accidents. So we're going to make sure they have all the food they could possibly need. Same thing for water. We're going to make sure that their water trough back here is super full and that the farm sitter knows how to fill it up every day. Next step is making sure that our barn is looking great. I never want to leave the farm sitter with a kind of icky, smelly barn. Now, we cleaned this barn out pretty recently, and so it's not very bad, but we're going to do a clean out anyway. All right, the barn is clean and I am very sweaty, but there's more work to be done. We need to make sure that all of our goat mamas who are in milk are going to have the food that they need all set up and ready to go. So while we are gone, we are not planning on having our farm sitter milk any of our goats. We are very fortunate that all of our mamas in milk still have at least one kid on them, which means that we can go away and the babies will milk for us, which is so nice to not have to burden our farm sitter with trying to milk goats. Because honestly, goats sometimes don't appreciate strangers milking them. They kind of get into that routine and they know their people. And so having a stranger milk can really be stressful. So we're gonna make sure we don't put any of that stress on our goats. They are not gonna be milked while we're gone, but their rumens are accustomed to having grain every day. So we need to make sure that we do not change their feed ration while we're gone, even though they're not getting milked. Whew. Okay, all of our feed is set up for the goats now. I made sure that their alfalfa tub back here is full to the top. So they have their buckets for morning meals, alfalfa for the evening meal. We've got lots of hay in the feeder. The water trough is full. And I know that the barn is going to be a great shelter for them. That's really our main checklist for any animal, is going to be food, water, and shelter. And we've got all three for these goats. That means they're ready to go. Okay, next up, the pig pen. All right, so for our pigs, we're gonna do that same checklist of three things. We need food, water, and shelter. Though actually, pigs need one more thing. We need to make sure that our pigs also have a good wallow set up for while we're gone. Thankfully, we have a really nice muddy spot, so I know these pigs will have a nice wallow to cool off in. So our pigs are honestly among the easiest animals for a farm sitter or just for us to go away. I mean, the reality is with our pigs, we could probably just leave them unattended, but we like to have somebody check in just in case there were to be a mishap or something, especially with their water bowl. We have one of these really, really cool automatic bulk feeders, and when we bought it used because farmer. And so we didn't have the money to shell out for a bulk feeder like this. These are, I mean, thousands of dollars. These are so expensive. We got this for $300 out of somebody's junk pile, but the lid was all bent. So we took the lid off and found that a kid's swimming pool was the perfect size. And so we've been putting an upside down kid's swimming pool on top of our bulk feeder for a couple of years now, and it works great. When it rains, we have to kind of empty out, if any of the water pools in here, but it works great. We loved it. So this bulk feeder will keep the pigs fed. We just refilled it, so I know that they have a ton of food to last them through the trip. And then for our pigs, we also make sure that they have a really big water tote. And when I say really big, I mean really, really big. So if there were to be some kind of disaster and the pigs went without food, that's okay. We're only going to be gone for about 4 days. They would survive. They would eat some grass. They'd be grumpy. They would be okay. But we cannot go without water. It is too hot, and just animals need their water. So we have to make sure that the water setup is foolproof. So our pigs get a whopping 300 gallons. I think technically it's 275, but almost 300 gallons of water. Now they have made their water a little bit more murky than I would normally like it. So we'll probably give that a quick clean out before we go, and then make sure that this tote is filled to the top. Now, I think we have a really cool setup with how we have our water for the pigs, because you might notice that the bowl is straddling a fence line, and the float is not on the pig side, it's on the other side, which is super important because pigs are mischievous little creatures and they will destroy anything they can reach. So what we've set up is on the pig side, they can't access anything but their water, and on this side, we have our sheep pen. Where are the sheep? There you guys are. You're enjoying that shade. So honestly, our sheep are pretty much as easy as the pigs. They need food, water, and shelter. We just saw their water. Clearly they have some good shelters. And then let's talk about food for them. So honestly, one of the best things about sheep is that the food that they most want is what's growing in the ground anyway. They would much rather graze on grass than eat anything else that I could provide for them. So I'm gonna make sure that they have a really nice grassy area while we're gone, as well as a full hay feeder. And since the goal of all of this is to make sure that there are no accidents, emergencies, or mishaps, we also have a secondary water setup just for the sheep in the event that the pigs make theirs a little too gross for the sheep to want to share. Okay, so now we have our goats ready to go, our pigs are all set, and the sheep will be happy while we're gone. So the last animals we need to make sure are all ready for our trip are our ducks and our rabbits. All right, let's talk rabbits first. We have a really cool setup, I think, on our farm, and we have our rabbits in a colony. So rather than having our rabbits in individual cages, we have them set up like this to where everyone is together. We do have one fence that runs along the middle that separates the mama side with her tiny babies from the grow-outs that needed to be weaned a little more forcefully than I had originally expected. So once mama has a new litter, we have to kind of toss the old babies over the fence because we found that they were stealing the milk. So we have a colony set up. It's sort of two sides of one colony. We love it. So once again, if we go through our checklist of food, water, and shelter, the whole colony is under an overhang. So we have so much shelter. We also have these little boxes for the babies and the mamas to run into if they need some additional shelter, if it were to rain or we had a cold front or something like that. We're not going to. It's Texas and it's August, so it's hot. We feed our rabbits in these big bulk feeders. We have found that they are so handy for a colony setup like this because we are raising our rabbits for meat. And so we really don't want to limit their food intake anyway. And so this allows them free access to as much food as they want for their growing little bodies. We have one feeder that holds 50 pounds, which is a whole bag of food, and one that holds 25. This has been such a great setup for us. I have loved it because these rabbits, I mean, we have a lot in here, but they just don't eat that much food. And so these bulk feeders will last us weeks before I have to refill them. So in addition to the bulk feeders with pellets, we always also make sure that our rabbits have hay, which I found is really handy in a 5-gallon bucket where you cut a hole in the side. It's been the perfect hay system for us and I've loved it. I can shove an entire flake of hay in there and they can eat it out the side. It's really worked great for us. So we make sure they have as much hay as they want, as many pellets as they want, and we have really happy rabbits. We've also got our rabbits set up on the same sort of automatic watering bowls. We've got one on each side of the colony and they share a barrel. So we need to make sure that that barrel is full enough to last at least through our trip. So here's the really good news on rabbit water. Rabbits drink almost no water. It's so little. And so this is a 55-gallon barrel that we have their water set up on. We filled this up about 4 months ago, I think. It is nearly halfway empty. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. We're approaching the halfway point, which means in the, I think 3 or 4 months that it has been set up, they have been able to drink, I'd probably put it at about 25 gallons. So I know that the remaining 25 gallons will last the 4 days that we're gone. All the same, I'm gonna fill it up to the top. Okay, and with a full water barrel, the rabbits are ready to go. They have food, they have water, they have shelter. I know they're gonna be safe, and the farm sitter won't have to do a thing with them, which is my favorite. I love setting up animals to where all the farm sitter has to do is check water bowls, make sure that they have the water they need, shelters haven't blown over or something crazy like that, and the food is still sitting there. That is my favorite. Super low effort animals. I love it. All right, the last animal we have to get ready is our ducks. Now, thankfully, these guys are pretty easy too. The main thing that our ducks need, I mean, they need food, water, and shelter. We talked about that. Our ducks live in the barn with our goats, so they've got shelter. It's good. For water, they share the water trough with the goats, so they're good there too. But for food, I unfortunately do have a task for the farm sitter because the ducks do need a scoop of feed every evening. So I've got that set up and ready to go. The farm sitter will not have any problem feeding them. And with that, we're done. We're ready to go on vacation. I am so pumped for this trip because it has been a crazy long time since I've been away from the house or the kids, just on an extended time with my husband. I'm really looking forward to our time together. And we have some fun activities planned. So it's really gonna be a good time where we can rest and relax, kind of, you know, get back into the swing of things. There's always that, what is the phrase? Separation makes the heart grow fonder, something like that. I don't think I have it quite right, but it's similar to that. And just being away from the farm, from the kids, from all of our normal life stuff for a little bit, I know is going to make us miss it. And we're going to be so happy when we get back to just get back to things as normal. So we really do appreciate you guys hanging around with us as I get ready to go on our trip. We are looking forward to getting back, and we'll get some more videos out for you guys in just a few days, I think. I've got another video idea in the works, thanks to somebody who left a comment on our last video. Huge thank you. I actually got a few different ideas. So if you have any video ideas that you would love for us to do just for you, let me know because I'm doing those. I love the ideas you guys have sent me. They're great. So leave us a comment if you want. Otherwise, we'll see you when we get back from our trip in the next video. Thanks for watching.